Hey guys, today I wanted to do something a little different for you. I'm going to do a foundation review wear test to kind of let you know about this foundation that's fairly new. I've heard some people talk about it and it highly intrigued me because if you don't know, I have very oily skin and I've heard great things about this foundation for oily skin. However, if you're hearing that and like, well, this doesn't apply to me, then I do want to tell you that I've also seen people who have drier skin use it and they just add a drop or two of oil in with it, with the foundation when they put it on, and have said that it wears amazing for them. So I think this could be a really good find for all skin types. So what it is this L'Oreal Infallible, it says up to 24-hour fresh wear foundation. I typically have been wearing the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte foundation, and I really do like this foundation, but I did want to give something else a try, and I thought, you know what, I've heard such good things about it, let me see for myself if it's really going to be that good for me. Instead of getting this, I've been wearing this in shade 103 Natural Buff. The numbers are different on this one, but they have the same shade names, just with different numbers. However, I decided to get this one in Ivory Buff instead of Natural Buff, so it's a little bit lighter, only because this is on the verge of being not too dark for me, but it tends to lean more dark than light kind of thing. And I did hear from one person at least who did a review on this say that it does oxidize a little bit, so I thought, let's just be safe, go for the lighter color, and I can warm it up with bronzer and that kind of stuff. So that is what I'm going to do. So I actually already put my moisturizer on. I use just this Neutrogena oil-free moisturizer, or oil-free moisture, I guess, and it's got sunscreen SPF 15 in it. That is my daily moisturizer because I do have oily skin and I don't need a heavy moisturizer, so it works perfect for me. I've been using it for years. And then I'm going to go ahead and use what I would normally use for my makeup. I'm going to use my Professional primer, and I like to just, spray it out everywhere apparently. I like to mostly concentrate it in my like T-zone and chin area. So I really kind of like pack it in this area. I have my nose ring out because when I do my base makeup, I usually have it out because I hate if I forget. I don't like to take it off out on camera. And but I don't like to have it in when I put on my makeup because then it gets covered in makeup and that's gross. Okay, and it's hard to clean once you've got it in and not mess up your makeup. But anyway, so that is how I normally do my primer. Concentrate it in those areas and then just kind of spread around the rest of the place. I'm going to go ahead and put my eye primer on like I always do too, just so I'm doing things in my normal order. So I just use the Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer. Put that on. Just cover my lids good. And I usually do a little swipe underneath. And then I typically use a brush to apply my foundation. That's what I've been doing. This is the Sigma Edge Kabuki F87 is the numbers on it. I'm going to try applying it with this, but I also do have my sponge with me in case it doesn't apply, because I know certain foundations aren't as good as others. I'm going to shake this up just for the sake of shaking it, I guess. So I haven't opened this yet. It's still sealed on the top. It's got this pump, which I like, so I'm going to try that out. Trying to decide how I want to do this, because I typically put my foundation on my finger and just kind of dot it around, so I think that's what I'm going to do. It's probably going to take a little priming. Oh, not too bad. Whoa, super liquidy. Okay, wasn't expecting that. Well, I'm making a mess, so let's just go ahead and start dabbing that on. It is looking light, so hopefully I can fix that. I don't know how I feel about the smell of it. Can't really tell what it is. It's like a floral, a little bit chemical maybe? No, I don't know. I don't really care that much about scents. As long as they don't stay on your face, I don't really care what stuff smells like when it first comes out. I know a lot of people have a serious aversion to like the Wet n Wild foundation, Photo Focus foundation, because it has like kind of a paint smell. I strangely like it. So that doesn't really bother me. Okay. And then as what I do with my regular foundation, I just take, or whatever foundation I usually use, I just kind of take my brush and get the excess off my fingers. And then we will just go at this. Now, this is a, I believe they call this a full coverage. It's supposed to be, as far as I remember seeing. Probably should have, I'll put that up on the screen here. So we will see. I tend to prefer like a medium foundation, medium coverage foundation is what my preferred form of foundation is. But we shall see. Because I think it's probably buildable. Oh, I guess it's not too light as I'm putting it in. So that's good. Okay. So far, it seems to be blending out fine with the brush. Like it does with my other foundations I usually use. I've just found that, I don't know why, but I prefer using a brush to apply my foundation and then the sponge I use for my concealer. I'm not really sure what made me start trying it that way and like it, but that's just kind of what I've been doing now for several months, and I don't know. I think I just feel like it's faster, or like I have more control or something with the brush. I'm not sure. Okay. Trying to be at where you can see. So, yeah, that's definitely not full coverage, which is good because like I said, I don't like full coverage. So trying to decide if I want to add a little extra. It went on nicely. Looks pretty much like my other foundation, the L'Oreal Infallible matte that I showed you that I usually use. Kind of pretty much looks the same as that as far as how it's covering. However, I'm glad I got this shade because I like it a lot better. Just for the heck of it, let's add a little bit more. I don't know if you caught before how watery it is, but it is quite liquidy, so be careful when you go to use it so you don't make a mess. My cheeks are where I have a lot of redness in my cheeks. So I kind of like to build a little bit there on my nose and my chin. Those seem to be the places where I need a little extra coverage. In fact, I usually take concealer kind of all by my cheek and nose area because I get really red there and I don't like it. Okay, so I may have gotten more than I really meant to, but we'll go with it. We'll make it work. I'm liking the way it's blending out with the brush. It's great, so that's good because that's the method I like to use. I don't know how well you can see, but I would say it's a good medium coverage, and that is exactly what I'm looking for in a foundation. You might be able to build it up to full. I'm not going to do that right now because for one, I don't really like full coverage, and for two, I'm going to my son's like basketball scrimmage, so I don't really need to be like, hey girl, hey, with that makeup. So now I'm going to do what I would normally do with my concealer. So I just use this Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer. Cover my red dot. So, okay, that's like a blood vessel that I got when, not long after my youngest son was born, which he's 13. I thought about going and getting it blasted off because my cousin works at a plastic surgeon and her husband has had one done. But then I'm like, do I want to go do that and spend the money? Like, is it that big of a deal? And so then I go in streaks where I'm like, who cares? It's a red dot, big deal, right? But let me tell you, every little kid will look at that sucker and point it out. And the one little girl I babysit, which I'm going to babysit her today, actually, she cracks me up because she has asked me about it several times, like when she was younger, and now she's going to be 4 in March. She said to me a couple weeks ago when I was babysitting her, she calls me Miss Danielle. She's like, Miss Danielle, what is that on your head? And I'm like, oh, it's like blood vessel, I guess. And she goes, I don't think I have blood vessels. And she goes, I think probably just older people get those. It was so funny. I'm like, yes, I think you're right. It was so cute. But I love how kids are so innocent and just tell it like it is. Yep. Older people like me, we get the weird looking blood vessels. But yeah, I go back and forth where I'm like, it bothers me. Then I'm like, who cares? You know, like that. So this is what I do with my concealer. I mean, I understand a lot of people do that, but I don't do it so much for the brightening factor. I do it to cover some of the redness under my, or on my cheeks. So that is what I do there. I do not take concealer like a bunch up under my eye because I do have fine lines and wrinkles, and I feel like it ages me a lot when I do that. So I kind of just keep it in the areas where I've got the little, you know, kind of dark indentation here, and try to just fill that in a little bit. Okay, and then the other thing that I always do is use my Coty Airspun loose powder to set my foundation and concealer. So that is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then come back and show you what the foundation looks like finished, or you know, with my makeup finished. And then I will be doing wear tests throughout the day to show you what it looks like how it's performing, if it's breaking up, if it's settling in my fine lines and wrinkles, if it's, I'm going to say straight up right now, every foundation I have ever worn gathers in my 11s here, so that I fully expect is going to happen. I have, every once in a while I'll get a foundation that'll go on my smile lines, but not too much, or like around my nose. So I'm hoping this doesn't do that because my Infallible Pro Matte does not do that, so that's part of why I really love that foundation. And so we shall see. So I've got everything all powdered up here. I'm going to go do the rest of my makeup, and I will be back to show you. But let me show you real quick up close before I go do the rest. This is what my foundation is looking like. I'm happy with how it looks, so I'm hoping this is going to be a winner. Okay, my makeup is fully done, so I just went ahead and did my normal. I used my butter bronzer for bronzing. I used a Tarte, what shade was that? Quirky blush, the Amazonian Clay blush, and I used my Essence Pure Nude highlighter. Woo! And I used Soft Glam, my Soft Glam palette on my eyes, the ABH one. My friend Leanne Sorrell, that you've heard me talk about before, she just got the Beautylish Lucky Bag, and she got that palette in it, which she already had the palette, but I'm like, that's a beautiful palette, but I just never reached for it. So I decided I would go ahead and reach for it. So I'm pretty happy with the way my eyes turned out today. I might start grabbing for it a little more often. And then I just did my brows and mascara, all that good stuff. And on my lips, I just did a Wet n Wild lip liner in the shade Willow. Just lined my lips and kind of filled them in, and then used my Dose of Colors in the shade Over the Top lip gloss. And yeah, so that was kind of the little look I threw together here today. I want to say that I have very blotchy cheeks. Like I said, I put concealer on my cheeks to try to cover redness and stuff, but my cheeks are very blotchy. Like, I feel like no matter what I do, I can't get my powder products to cover the blotch. There's usually these two big white spots. I can see it a little bit, but when I was putting on like my bronzer and my blush, I was like, whoa, this is so much less patchy looking than it normally is. So I don't know if that has to do with the foundation. That's the only thing that's different that I've used on my face today. So I'm thinking maybe it is the foundation. Obviously, I will be using it more times before I put up this video to let you guys know my true thoughts on the foundation, because I don't feel like one day is really enough. But so far, I think it might be the foundation that is taking away that patchiness, like making it a little more of a smooth canvas for my powder products. So that makes me very excited. I hope that's actually the case. So this is where we're starting out now. Kind of show you. I do have a little tiny bit of, that was just on that one side, so it actually might be just that I didn't blend it out good. So far my 11s are safe. No, you know, up in there. It would be really fast if it was doing it already. But so far, I'm loving the way this foundation looks. I'm so glad the shade that I chose because I think it works perfect for my skin. And so I will be coming to you throughout the day to share with you what it's looking like, what it's feeling like, all that good stuff. I wanted to kind of show you in natural light too what things are looking like. So you can kind of just get an idea. It's so bright I can hardly see. And this is a window with like frosted glass, so it's funny, not frosted glass, but like a covering on it that frosts it. But yeah, to kind of give you an idea of what the foundation is looking like in the natural lighting. I did not put like a setting spray on. I never do that, so I didn't want to do it when, I mean, I very rarely use one, so I didn't want to do it for the first time I'm using the foundation because I want to see what it wears like how I wear my foundation normally. So I never said what time I put my foundation on, but it was noon, and it is like 4:19 now, and it's in my 11s, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. It is 7:28, and I'm doing another check-in here. It is in my 11s, as you can see, but it's been there. I haven't touched it up or anything, so it's not like it regathered. That's just, I just left it. If you're not that close up to my head, you can't tell it. Nothing in my smile lines, nothing next to my nose. Looks pretty good. I am like super impressed. Of course, now I'm touching my nose and rubbing off the end of it, and I did blow my nose once, so I do have a little bit of redness from that, but again, when you rub Kleenex on your nose, that's gonna happen. My powder products look fantastic, like way better than usual. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm not oily at all. So, and I'm a super oily girl. So it's phenomenal to me the way this looks. So far, so good. Okay, it is 9:45, and this is my latest update. Things are still looking really good. Like, I feel like in the lighting I look really, ooh, like, yikes, I don't look like that in person. Yikes. Anyway, the coloring of my foundation, everything looks really good in person. In this lighting I look very pink, and like I have like these deep, weird, wrinkly things that don't look like that in person. But anyway, that has nothing to do with foundation, it's just lighting. My makeup looks fantastic. Like I don't know, I'm totally blown away. Obviously I'm gonna wear this for a few days before I leave, like on the screen or whatever, my final thoughts about it and in the description box, but this may easily be a new favorite foundation. Like, it is my favorite way a foundation has looked on me yet. So I'll have to watch it, see in editing what the coloring looks like, because right now I feel like I look like a clown. Like, I've got these really pink cheeks and stuff. My makeup does not look like that at all in person, so it's really weird. But yeah, I am super impressed. Like, around my nose and everything, there's not like just that little bit right there, which I have with every kind of foundation because they're really deep lines, and I don't know how something wouldn't pool there. So yay! I'll probably do one more check-in and call it a night, and then after wearing for a few days, I will add it to this video and let you guys know. 1:30 in the morning. Brian's sleeping, so I'm trying to be quiet, but I'm getting ready to go to bed. Still just my little spots in my 11s, which normally I just go like this and wipe out. So I could have done that all day, but I wanted to give it a fair wear. I have blown my nose a couple times because it's drippy, but pretty much looks good. Nothing in my smile lines. This foundation looks good, so I hope it performs this well the next couple days when I use it, so that hopefully I can be telling you right at the end here that it's amazing and my new favorite foundation. I have a feeling it's going to be, so watch till the end here to find out for sure. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, I'm getting ready to head out for work, but I wanted to give you my final thoughts on this foundation. So it is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. Definitely oxidizes a little, so keep that in mind when you buy or when you choose a shade. So you might want to go a little lighter than your normal shade. As I said before, the Infallible Pro Matte that I usually wear from L'Oreal, I use 103 Natural Buff. This is 430 Ivory Buff. So I went from Natural Buff down to Ivory Buff, and it works out perfect because it definitely does oxidize, and you'll notice it on your neck the most. So you definitely want to make sure you go a little lighter. I don't mind it knowing that and being able to adjust it, then that's fine with me, because I am super impressed with the way this wears. It stays all day. It did, you know, build up in my 11s up here a little bit, but every single foundation does. They're very deep, so I don't know how I would avoid that. But I did not get it in my smile lines, around my nose, anything like that. So, you know, not like forehead wrinkles or anything like that. So, I'm very happy with how it wears. It stayed looking great all day. It did not break up anywhere. They claim for it to be transfer proof. I don't believe that's true, because I had like a cream colored fuzzy kind of like cardigan thing on, and I had it on like around the neck area. I could see a little bit of foundation. So I don't agree with the claims that it is transfer proof, but I will say that it wears beautifully. As I mentioned before, my powder products seemed to sit on it much better than any other foundation. I still hold true to the error. I still say the same about that. It absolutely does. It has taken away like the patchiness that I usually have from my powder products on my cheeks. I am so incredibly impressed with this. Definitely, this is going to be my go-to foundation now. And I'll probably get a little darker color once, you know, summer rolls around, because I think it's that good. Like, I'm super impressed by it. I am very oily. It kept my oil at bay, but it doesn't make you look like so matte that it's like yucky, like make you look old kind of thing. As I mentioned before, if you do have drier skin, I have seen people with dry skin say that they just add a couple drops of oil to it, face oil to it, and that it wears beautifully for them. So you might want to try that. I highly recommend it. If you're looking for a foundation that is affordable, I think I paid $11 something for this. I will have it linked down below in the description box. I got it at Walmart, but of course you can get it other places as well. But I will have it linked down below where I got it, so if you want to check it out. And the shade range seemed, I mean, okay. It wasn't like they had tons of different options, but a fair range. My son just had a total freak out moment finding out that his cousin's coming over, which is pretty cute, because my kids have all these days off school because of crazy snowstorm, which I love. I'm so happy about it. And also, though, really cold weather. We're gonna have like wind chills in the negative 20s to 40s. So yeah, it should be chilly. So they're having the next 2 days for sure off of school because of that. But anyway, so yeah, I am very happy with this foundation. And if any of you pick it up and try it, let me know what you think of it. Hopefully I've given you all the details. If you have some questions of something that I didn't mention about it that I'm just flaking out on, that you want to know about, let me know, and I'll let you know if I know. So yeah, definitely not transfer proof, but it wears fantastically, kept me looking good all day long. And I know that I'll come home from work tonight at 10:15. Actually, it'll be after that. My shift goes till 10:15, so I probably won't get home till 10:30 something. But anyway, I am confident that my makeup will still be looking really good. So love it, and happy to say that something that I did wear a test on and try it out for the first time, it was a win. So let me know what you guys think. Bye.